Welcome. We are your hosts, Chris and Tammy.
In this podcast, we dive into the mindset for networking strategies and skills you'll need to build a solid foundation to build a global business.
We've built a multi-million-dollar business and have mentored thousands of people around the globe in the last 25 years. There's going to be a lot of things that we are going to be unfolding. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute, but just so you know, okay? So one of the things that's very important to keep in mind as we keep moving forward here, guys, I just want to read a quote from Will Smith. And one of the things he says is, I'm going to lay this brick as perfect as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day, and soon you will have a wall. So in other words, don't worry about how much work there is to be done, how difficult you may feel it may be. Just focus on one task and do that one task well. And every day, just do another task well. And I'm telling you that over time, you will be amazed on the results that you will get. And the one thing that I really appreciate about the calendar that Tammy created, it's something that most people take for granted and they don't really pay attention so much, even though we talk about it all the time, is what you focus on. What you focus on the most is what will manifest in your life. If all you focus on, like you want to make money, you want to be successful, but all you focus on is the fact that you don't have the money. You're in debt. It's not working. And if this is what you have in your head, this is what you constantly will be facing. It is so powerful, the power of the mind. That tool that was created by the Almighty, do not undermine it. It is a powerful tool, and what you put in it, it is exactly what it will focus all your effort and energy towards, which in turn, you're like a magnet that will attract whatever you think about. Not what you want, what you think about. That's the irony of this discussion. Is people pray, they wish, they want, but unfortunately, in their heart, they feel the despair, and that's all they focus on. So be careful. Stormy Wellington talked about that at the GoPro event in a major, major way, and not just her. You'll find that many successful folks have the same language, and it's been brought up several times. And I'm telling you this because I know what's going on. I know what happens in my head. I know what happens Tammy and I, we live together, right? So we know each other. We know what we do. We know what we say. And I'm telling you, you have to be so careful on what you focus on and what you say.
And to be able to easily recognize that and to be able to shift it as quick as possible and not drag on throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, and then, nothing's happening. So it's to be able to recognize it. It's okay to have a crappy day. We all have crappy days, but get over it. And to be able, what can you do? What can you shift to move on? What is it that you can do right now that can make that shift? And often it's the word. Just change the word and the meaning, right? And shift it. And I know it sounds simple, and it is when you start to do this on a regular basis. It can be a simple routine. I know that we catch ourselves easily because we've been doing this stuff for a very long time, but we're also human beings. We also get tired. We're human, right?
Because we need to understand, sometimes, we get mad at ourselves or we tend to feel disappointed. And what's going on is is there so many people that are not thriving? I'm not talking network marketing, folks. I'm talking in business. Like whatever they start, why aren't they not successful in thriving? And it has to do with the programming. And I know that Eric talked about this. And when he hit that, for me, it hit home big time. Because I know, I don't want to speak for all French people, but I know in my family, money was made not for us. We were made for the little bread. In French, it's called a pain. I remember. And my father meant well, but he used to tell me, stop dreaming and come back to reality. I remember, but I'm a stubborn person. So I decided whatever my dad said, it didn't matter as I grew and I started evolving and reading books and evolving. And the thing is, I had to learn, because the reality is I've always made money in my life. But before I kept it, I kept losing it. Investments, just I could never hold on to money ever. It was my upbringing. And what happens is network marketing came into my life and it has completely changed my life. You know, sometimes people look at network marketing and they look down at it because they didn't make the money. But what they're overlooking is the person they became along the way, the transformation that has been a portion as to why maybe they succeeded in their school, maybe they succeeded in their career, maybe they succeeded in their family life, maybe they succeeded in the communication with their families. Network marketing, it's one of the most amazing learning experience. And you learn not just from the books, but from the people around you, which in turn will affect your attitude, which in turn will increase your activities. And of course, as you increase your activities, your results will be impacted. Because folks, some of you have great, amazing talent, but you speak to one person and that one person couldn't see past their limitation and it looks like you didn't have results. It's not your fault if the person can't see past their limitation. But what's your fault is you could have spoken to 50 people when you chose to speak to one or two. And that's the reality. So as your attitude evolves, changes, transforms, activity will increase. And as your activity increases, because you speak to more people, well, guess what? By default, by the law of numbers, your results will be impacted. Does that make so much sense? Which in turn, your lifestyle could be quite significant. I know it's been for us and many people around the world that we've worked with, which will get you into that nice, comfortable, environment, which is what you're looking for. Where some folks will turn around and says, "Oh, you're lucky." There's no such thing as luck. I do believe that if you do things often enough, eventually you're bound to hit what we call luck, but that's because you stayed the course long enough to come across a situation that happened to be there that was convenient, that you're just able to add on to your culture of whatever it is that you're trying to do. But what's happening is it's uncomfortable for a period of time. I'm telling you, some things are going to be said, some things are going to be done, and it might be a little bit uncomfortable at first. Okay. But the fact here is a lot of people don't like it. So they go back to that comfort, which got them into this uncomfortable lifestyle that they don't want, which, folks, this is the 95%. I mean, I have seen it. We have lived it. We have seen it over and over and over and over. And this accountability system is critical.
For 2023, make a commitment, make a decision to recognize this programming. Every time that programming creeps up, because it'll continuously creep up in our adult life. And so what can you do to make that shift when that programming comes up? Chris happened to talk about, parents programming on money. Whatever it is for you, what is that programming and how can you change your energy around that, change the words, change the attitude, and what do you need to do to become better? What activities need to be done to get the result that you're looking for so you can have that lifestyle you've always dreamed of? Every single one of you deserve an incredible lifestyle. So you just have to work on this and really pay attention to this in 2023. And don't do it alone. You need to work with accountability partners. Work with somebody who's going to really go deep with you to help you understand why you are where you are, and be open for criticism, be open for constructive criticism, because it's going to help you evolve. Because sometimes we don't see what other people are seeing. And it's important to be open. I know Chris and I, we kind of go back and forth to each other, as a couple. It's never as easy when a couple does it. But you know what? We reflect on it. And then we realize that, he's right, or she's right. So, and it's not about being right. It's because we want to help each other evolve in our skills, you know? So when you do it out of love and you do it out of caring, it comes across. So I think that everybody should really nail down this in 2023 if you're looking to get to a next level, if you're looking for results. And I don't think you'd be here this evening if you weren't.
Don't be intimidated by the things and maybe the feeling you may have right now based on what we're saying. It's going to be totally fine, because if you're in a rhythm and you stay within the rhythm, I'm telling you, it won't be overwhelming. It gets overwhelming when you disconnect and you come back, a month later. Okay. Okay, everybody, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening. Looking forward to have a wonderful, prosperous year as we finish this year and start in the new year. So we'll talk to you soon, and we'll talk to you next Monday, everybody.